Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel and online English classes of Little Scholars Public School. Now in today's video we will learn what are figures of speech. Figures of speech are types of language in which we use decorative language, and this decorative language adorns, praises. Thereafter, it brings about some imagination, or it brings excitement in the reader. These effects are used in poems to make the poem interesting and pleasant. Now let us see first what do figures of speech do. They adorn the language. Adorn means what? They add some praise to the language. They improve the quality of the language. They add color and interest. Color and interest means color, especially red, green, blue, such colors they don't add, but some variety they add to the simple language, and they bring interest in the simple language. They awaken our imagination. Awaken our imagination means what? If figures of speech are used, different type of imagination is attached with that poem or with that line, and the reader can imagine different things, different aspects from that line, and cause a moment of excitement. Sometimes these figures of speech create excitement in you. What will happen next, and whatever happened now, they help to improve our confidence, our hope. They motivate us. This is how we use figures of speech. They provide emphasis, freshness, and clarity to expression. Emphasis means giving a pressure, giving weight to the language. Freshness and clarity. If you use figures of speech, you can make your point understand someone in more clear way with more different examples. Now let us see figures of speech one by one. I'm going to teach you 7 to 8 figures of speech in this video, and remaining figures of speech we will learn in our next video. First, simile. Simile figures of speech is used to show similarity in two objects or two things, and here two different things and yet are alike in some significant way. Means what? Two different things are compared with each other, and yet they are alike. Alike means same. They are same in some significant means important way, important manner. In some important manner, two things are similar. Any one point, minimum 1 point is similar between two things, and they are different. So that similarity we show with the help of simile. In a simile, a comparison is made between two objects of different kinds which have at least 1 point in common. So this point is important here. At least 1 point in common. They have at least 1 point in common. The simile is usually introduced by words as, like, and so. These words will come in simile figures of speech, and you can easily identify it. It is easy to remember. Simile is representing similarity. So from that you can understand these figures of speech will show similarity. And in these figures of speech, as, like, so, these words are used which show the comparison, comparativeness, alikeness. Now let us see some examples. First example, the kid's school bag was as heavy as rock. See here, school bag and rock. These two things are compared here. And what is significant, important thing is the heaviness. So the quality of heaviness is compared between two things, school bag and the rock. And as these words are used here as to show the comparison. So whenever simile figures of speech comes, comparison is shown with the help of these words as, like, or so. Next example, you see the moon shone bright like the silver in the night sky. Here moon and silver. Silver is a metal, you know. Silver shines and silver is a somewhat white and yellow metal. So it shines yellowish and whitish. So these things are compared here with the help of this like word. Now come on the third example, black as the pit from pole to pole. Here as word is used to show the similarity between two objects which are black. Something is black as the pit. As the pit. Pit means a deep long hole, you can say. And from pole to pole here means this example is from Invictus poem. Invictus poem is there to you, means to ninth standard. And in that we will understand that poet is telling pole to pole means pole of the earth, south pole to north pole. You can imagine if a hole is there, a very long hole from south pole to north pole of the earth, how much darkness will be there in that hole. So that quality of darkness of some object is compared here with that hole which will be from south pole to north pole. Came happy boys like a flock of sheep. This example is from your ninth standards poem Somebody's Mother. In somebody's mother, so many figures of speech you will learn. Now we will see this line, came happy boys like. This like word is used here to show the similarity. Came happy boys. How boys are compared with the flock of sheep. Flock means a group of sheep. So like the group of sheep, those boys were coming. That poet wants to tell us. I wandered lonely as a cloud. Here poet is telling he or she wandered. How wandered? Lonely. She was lonely like a cloud or as a cloud. Here also comparison is there. We can understand what is simile, and it is easy to pick out with the help of these words as, like, so, or some more words may be there. Now metaphor, second figures of speech metaphor. In a metaphor, comparison is made between two objects of different kinds, but the words of comparison so, like, as are not used here. Here metaphor is called as implied simile. Implied means what? Meaning is implied from that, meaning is indicated from that, but it is not exactly same to the simile. Why? Because so, like, as these words are not used, but in this figures of speech we tell that one thing is another thing. The mountain was a computer. The river was a mirror. So this way we tell that one thing is other thing. Examples, the camel is the ship of the desert. Here this camel and the ship, these two things are compared. The camel, we are telling the camel is the ship. Here we are not using as, like, or so words to tell the similarity between camel and the sheep, but comparison is there. Here life is a dream. We are telling that life is a dream. Comparison is there. But as, like, so these words are not there. If we tell one thing is other thing. His hands are knives. His head is a pumpkin. If such words, such sentences we are using, in such sentences, metaphor figures of speech is there. Come on the next example. Old woman's words were a dagger to his heart. See here, old woman's old woman's words. Here, words are compared with the dagger. Words were a dagger. So, metaphor figures of speech is there. Now, anger is an enemy. You can see here, next example, anger and enemy. These things are compared. Anger is an enemy. One thing is other thing. In the next example also you can see as, like, so such words are not there, but comparison. Our soldiers are lambs in the fight. Soldiers are compared with lambs without the actual words using like, as, so. Come on the next figures of speech, personification. In the previous video I had given a little description about personification. In this video we will see with more examples. In personification, inanimate objects. Inanimate means what? Non-living objects. Non-living objects and abstract ideas are spoken of as having life and intelligence. Intelligence means the ability to think or take decision or differentiate between something. Here examples. Death lays his icy hand on kings. Death lays. Lays means puts, keeps his icy hand on kings. Here death, you know, death is a non-living thing. It is a factor, and we cannot say death is a male or female, but in this line his pronoun is used for death, and they are showing that hands or hand is also there to that death. So this is the quality of living beings, having hands, and thereafter the gender. So here we are comparing the non-living thing or abstract idea with living thing. Come on the next example. The flowers danced beautifully. The flowers are, you can say, non-living things. Now flowers and trees are also come in a living category, but they don't have these abilities, means dancing or singing or speaking. These abilities are with human beings and living beings. So flowers are dancing here means we are giving the animate quality, means the living quality of living beings to the non-living flowers. Let us come to the next example, that is, what though death at times steps in. This example is from the poem Life. What though death at times steps in. Steps in means what? It walks and enters into someone's life. So walking ability or putting steps, this ability relates to living beings or humans, you can say. And here this ability we are giving to death, which is an abstract idea. And now Here we are personifying death. So personification figures of speech is there. Next example, the silver shadow of the moon danced on the lake. Here also the silver shadow is compared, shadow is given the ability of dancing. Shadow is a non-living thing and it cannot dance personally. So dancing ability we are applying on shadow. So this is personification. Come on the next example, slowly silently now the moon. This example is from poem Silver, which is ninth standards poem. So here slowly silently now the moon walks the night in her silver shoon. Here we are telling that the moon is a girl and she is wearing silver shoes and slowly silently she is walking in the night. So these abilities of a girl or a living thing we are applying to the moon, which is non-living thing. Come on the next example, apostrophe. This is apostrophe. Here we pronounce apostrophe and the punctuation mark apostrophe is a different thing. So its pronunciation is apostrophe and this figures of speech is pronounced as apostrophe. So let us see these figures of speech. In this type, the non-living or personified objects are addressed like a living being as if it is present in front of us. We call them like a living thing. Means what? We address someone, we call someone as if it is your friend, it is your relative or some living person. Oh mountain, oh mountain, how tall you are. So here you are addressing to the mountain. Let us see the examples. And one more point is here about apostrophe. Apostrophe takes personification one step forward. In personification, we are giving some quality of living beings to non-living beings, and here we are taking one step forward. Means what? Here we are calling to non-living things like a living thing. We are talking with them. Examples: Oh rose, how sweet you smell, and how bright you look. Here, oh rose, oh rose. We are telling to rose, and here you means we are talking with the poet is talking with the rose. How sweet you smell, how bright you look. The poet is telling to the rose. Come on the next example. Death, I can defeat you with the weapon of hope. The poet is telling in this line, death, to the death, the poet is telling death, I can defeat you. So it is he is talking, he is addressing to the non-living death. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. This line you all know very well. This is a very famous line from a poem. So here we are talking to the star and telling that how what are you? How much you twinkle and how little you are. That thing is there. Next example, dear mountain, how tall you are. So here we are talking to the mountain and we are asking the mountain. Come on the next example, don't cry dear tree. Here we are talking with the tree. Trees don't talk, you know very well. So here directly we are addressing to the tree. Trees can neither talk nor hear, but we are giving here that ability to the tree. Fifth example, fifth figures of speech is oxymoron. Oxymoron. In oxymoron, two opposite words are kept together, put together, or combined for a different meaning. Let us understand it In a oxymoron, two opposite words are put together or combined in a phrase. Here what is important? Two words, not phrases, not clauses or sentences. Two words are put together. Two words which have opposite meaning. From example, we can see this is an open secret. Here, this open word and secret word, these are opposite to each other. In the next example, all the politicians agreed to disagree. Agreed to disagree means what? They agreed that they will disagree to someone, they will reject to someone. They all agreed that they will reject to some point or some proposal or some procedure. This is seen from this oxymoron. He is the only honest thief. Here, honest and thief, these two words are kept together. Meaning is something different. Honest thief, a thief, thieves are not honest. But here in this line, we are telling that honest thief, only honest thief. So this is the oxymoron effect. I am busy doing nothing. Here we are telling doing also and nothing also. Something should be there to do. So this is also oxymoron, opposite effect. This is cold summer. Cold and summer. You know that summer season is not cold, it is very hot. So here we are, the poet or the author is telling that summer was feeling him cold. Let us come on the next figures of speech, antithesis. What is antithesis? In antithesis, one idea or thought is set against the other to secure an effective contrast by balancing. Here, two ideas are used which are opposite to each other or which are in contrast to each other, and they are kept together to make a balance in the sentence, to convey a different meaning. Usually parallel grammatical structures are used in this type. Parallel grammatical structures means what? That we will see in the example. To err is human, forgive is divine. Here, to err, this is infinitive, forgive, this is infinitive. Here is a helping verb is there, human and divine, these two nouns are there. Here humans, what humans do? Humans do the mistakes, and divine means gods, the divine powers, superpowers. God forgives. So this thing is told in this sentence, and this same grammatical structure, infinitive, thereafter helping verb, thereafter noun or adjective. Here infinitive, thereafter helping verb, thereafter noun or adjective. This is somewhat similar grammatical structure, so it is called as parallel grammatical structure. So usually such type of structures are used in antithesis. Here antithesis and oxymoron, these are somewhat confusing because opposite things are used in these figures of speech. You can see this, to err is human, and forgive is divine. Erring and forgiving, doing mistakes and forgiving, these are opposite things but are kept together to tell the highness, greatness of God. Come on the next example. United we stand, divided we fall. We should come together, and if we come together we can stand, means we can survive. And divided we fall, fall means what? In indirect way, it is death, we will die. So if we divide ourselves, we will suffer, we will die. That thing poet wants to tell. Man proposes, God disposes. Man proposes means what? Man puts a wish a man puts an idea or thinks about something and God sets it, God fulfills it, or God orders it. Here, proposing and ordering, wishing and fulfilling, these two things are opposite and they are kept together. Give every man thy ear. Thy means your. This is old language, mostly Shakespeare. You used to use this word thy, thee, such words, and give what this line is telling, give every man your ear, but few thy voice, your voice. Poet is telling to God that you give every man the ability to listen, but very few people will have the ability to speak. Voice means here ability to speak, but few thy voice, voice of the God. Now here voice, speaking and listening, these are opposite things and kept together for the special effect. Fifth example, it was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. Here also grammatically same sentences are there, two sentences are there. If we divide them, we can see that mirror effect is there. Mirror, if we see ourselves in the mirror, we find that our image is there which is exactly similar to us, but not exactly we. So in the same way, it was the age of wisdom. Here wisdom and foolishness, these are opposite words and are used here for the antithesis effect. So this is called as antithesis. Come on the next example, alliteration. Alliteration means there is the repetition of word of the same sound or the repetition of the same letter or syllable at the beginning of two or more words in a sentence. Here examples are there. How high His Highness holds his haughty head. Haughty means proud. Haughty means proud. So here sound of H, you can see H, 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 such sounds are there. Here more than two are there. Even if two sounds are there, you can consider it alliteration. If only two sounds are there, it will be considered alliteration. But here more are there. How high His Highness holds his haughty head. Come on the next example, a strong man struggling with the storms of fate. Here sound of S, S, S is repeated. So this is alliteration. Next example, don't drink the dirty water. Here D, D and D. These sounds are repeated. Don't drink the dirty water. It produces a different effect in the poem. This is why these figures of speech is used. Next example, Tim took tons of tools to make toys. Tim is a boy. T, 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 T and T. These alphabets and the sound of T is repeated here. This is why it is alliteration. Next example, he is young, heart, happy and well content. His H, heart H, happy. These words are, these sounds are repeated. Her sound is repeated here. So this is how we have seen 7 figures of speech. These all figures of speech you have to write into your notebook. You have to copy the figures of speech, their names, their description, and minimum 2 examples you have to write in your notebook. Watch the video. If you find any difficulty in understanding these figures of speech, you can ask me on my personal number or put in the comment box also. Take care. Thank you so much.